Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Bruce Gilbert here with Health Source Chiropractic in Atascocita, Texas, coming to you on Thursday morning, May the 7th, 2020. We are obviously still in the midst of this pandemic time that we've all been going through together as a nation, as a culture, as a world, basically. And it's created its own unique challenges outside of the biggies that we know. You know, people not working, people unable to get things they need to get because there's shortages of whatever it may be, whether it's toilet paper or God only knows what. Hopefully you guys are doing as well as you possibly can. But one of the other challenges that has come about because of COVID is the fact that so many people are having to work in new physical situations. And what I mean by that is they're not at their normal desk. You know, they've been asked to stay home and work safe, is what they call it here at in Harris County, or they've lost their jobs or whatever it may be, or teachers are having to work from home, which is what my wife has to do. And I cannot tell you how many people I have had come through my office in the past month with this quarantine stuff going on here in Texas and telling me, Doc, it just seems like since I've had to work from home, I'm having more neck pain, I'm having more back pain, or whatever it may be. Excuse me. And so it's a pretty common thing. I mean, easily every week I see 3 or 4 people with that exact complaint. So I've come up with some ideas on how to help people combat that. And I'm going to go over some of that with you right now. First of all, I need you to understand the importance of movement. And let's just touch base on that really quick. It's really, really important to move for a lot of reasons. Let me talk about the joints, and let's talk about the discs in your spine too. And then we're going to talk about whole person, why it's important. Ready? Here we go. First of all the joints in your spine, from your finger joints to your knee joints to your spinal joints, the joints in your neck, everything, every joint that moves has cartilage that lines each side of the joint. There's 2 bones that come together, and there's cartilage on the surface of each one of those pieces of bone. That cartilage has absolutely no direct blood supply to feed it nutrients, to keep it alive and healthy. The only way it gets fed nutrients is through the fluid that's inside the joint capsule that surrounds the joint. And that fluid is called synovial fluid. You don't need to memorize that. There won't be a test, I promise. But that fluid gets replenished when the joints move. When the joints move. If they're not moving, that fluid is not being replenished, it becomes stagnant and stale. It can no longer nourish those joints, and the joints will begin to decay at a more rapid pace. Some of us that are in their mid-50s are already, under the best of circumstances, going to have some joints that decay because we got some miles on us now. I've got miles on my body. And so it's going to happen. But how fast is it going to happen? Well, when the joints are not moving appropriately, when they're not being used appropriately, guess what? They're going to decay faster. That's not good. The other thing is when those joints aren't moving, then that fluid becomes stagnant. It becomes inflamed and irritated inside the joint, and that begins to create pain for you guys. And that's not good because that then leads you to having to take things like ibuprofen or Tylenol or whatever it's going to be. And those things we know create problems inside our body, even though they're just, in quotation marks, over-the-counter medications. All right. So that's one reason we need to move regularly. What about the discs in your spine? Well, let's just use the same concept. Those discs have no direct blood supply to them to feed them nutrients and to keep them healthy and alive and supple and strong. And again, once again, the only way that they get nourishment is through the process of something that's known as imbibition. Again, a word you don't need to memorize, no tests, but imbibition occurs when the spinal joints move and squish and compress those discs that sit between the spinal bones. It pumps toxins out. It sucks good nourishing fluids back in. So the joints and the discs have to have movement to stay as healthy as possible. Now, let's take that to a whole person perspective. You and I as human beings, we eat, we eat nutrients and we expel wastes every day. So do every one of the cells in your body. And those cells in your body pump those toxins, those waste out into your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is what helps to channel all the toxins out of the body, basically, right? And now the only way that can happen, the only way that fluid can be pushed through those channels, because there's not a heart beating to pump it along, is with movement. When I'm moving and using muscles and things are contracting and I'm moving against gravity, guess what? It helps to pump the lymphatic fluids out, helps to pump those toxins out of your body. So those are some reasons that we need to be moving on a regular basis. Now, in addition to needing to move for those reasons, there are some specific exercises that I can teach you that you can do very quickly. And before I get to the exercise, I need you to understand that because you're sitting so much more, teachers particularly, you teachers are sitting all the time now compared to when you used to stand most of the day, you've got to find opportunities to move regularly. You've got to create opportunities to move regularly. So you can use a smart device like a watch or a phone like this, and you can set your timer, and I would set it for about 30 minutes. And if you have not moved in 30 minutes, you need to get up and do something. Let's give you some ideas of things you can do. Ready? So one thing you can do, because we tend to sit at these computers on a regular basis and extend our heads forward to look at the screens, we need to work on something called the chin tuck exercise. We also call this the head retraction exercise in our office, and we teach our patients this exercise regularly. What you do is you take your chin and you retract it backward, just like this. You see what I'm doing? You pull your head back, because you're doing this all the time, and you're going to start assuming that posture on a regular basis and starting to hunch over at the upper back. So I need you to do that. You want to pull it back, and you want to hold it for at least 5 seconds, if not all the way to 30 seconds. Okay. I like that. Okay. Start with 3 to 5 seconds. And then if you can do it longer, keep holding it for up to 20 or 30 seconds. There you go. Then there's something we call the side neck and stretch. Real simple. It's called the side neck and stretch because we stretch the neck, the side neck stretch because we stretch the neck to the side. You're looking straight ahead, take your hand, reach all the way to the opposite side, just above your ear, and pull your head to the side. And you probably ought to hold that for another 20 seconds or so. Do that. If there's any sharp pains, you need to stop this. You don't want to pull and feel sharp pains. Come back up, and then take your other hand and do the same thing for another 30 seconds or so. You're going to feel it stretch on the opposite side. Now, there's another exercise you can do. When you're on computers all the time, you can start to damage your wrists. So you want to do some stretching of the wrists. What you do simply here is extend your hand out, take your other hand, pull it back. And you're going to feel that really pull here in the forearm muscle. So pull it back and hold it. You might want to hold that for 10 seconds and repeat, and do that 3 to 5 times like that. And then you can do that on the other side. Pull it back and feel it stretch there. Okay. Simple exercise there. The other thing that's going to happen when you're sitting at a desk all the time and looking at computers, and especially if you're having to work on your kitchen table where maybe it's up higher than your typical situation, your shoulders are going to round forward. We got to combat that. Simple way to do this. Sit up nice and straight like this, and you want to squeeze your shoulder blades back like this. And you want to hold your shoulders there for about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or maybe even 30, and then relax, okay? And hold it back like that, okay? Squeeze back like you're pinching your shoulder blades together, trying to squeeze them and make them touch behind your back like that. You're going to feel it stretch across your chest, and you're going to feel the muscles between your shoulder blades contracting. And that's going to begin to help you strengthen those muscles that do hold the shoulder back. One other last one that's a good one to do also, and this is something we teach for people to do, especially as they age here in our office, is to practice getting up and getting out of your chair on a regular basis. So what do I mean by that? I want you to try not to use your hands at all if you can. I want you to be able to simply get up like this. Let me turn my chair sideways, and be able to sit back down without using your hands. And see if you can do it without using your arms to create momentum like that too. So you want to be able to sit down comfortably, just like that, and not fall into your chair, and then be able to return to the standing posture like that. You're going to see that when you do that, you really engage your core, your abdominal muscles quite a bit. Do that about 10 times. Stand up, sit back down 10 times. If you want to get more creative with exercises, you can. You could jump up and do 10 jumping jacks out of the blue. You could, if it's one of your break times, just make sure you walk to go get some water. You could, if it's one of your break times, walk outside and get some fresh air. That'd be awesome too. Get some fresh air. You could just decide that you're going to walk around your block one time, just for a few minutes, just to get yourself moving. Folks, the key is, and I'm reading a book right now that I'm going to be bringing you more information about this, and the book is called Sitting Kills and Moving Heals. The key is movement. Going to do an hour of exercise somewhere or going for a walk one time a day is great. I'm glad you're doing that if you're doing it, but it is not enough. You've got to find what this book actually terms OTMs, opportunities to move, all throughout your day. And don't sit any longer than about 30 minutes at a time. Hey, that also includes if you're sitting back and watching a movie. Get up and move on a regular basis, guys. This is a big deal. The lack of movement is hurting us musculoskeletally, physically on the external part of our body. It's also hurting us physiologically on the inside. Again, I'm going to bring you more information about this in the coming month as I assimilate some of the information that I'm learning in this book in such a way that I can give you that information in a simple, succinct way that makes sense to you and that you can put to use in your life right now. Hey, that's it for right now, guys. During this time of pandemic, we're going to be sending you out encouraging messages on a regular basis via email. So I hope this information is beneficial to you. This email will also contain a healthy recipe of the week. And so keep reading the email to click on that and pick it up. Let me know if you cook some of those recipes. I'd love to hear how it went for you and how much you liked it. And I'll be shooting out regular healthy recipes on a regular basis. Don't forget, if you're not following us on Facebook, go look up Health Source Chiropractic of Atascocita. You're going to see great information there on a daily basis to keep you inspired, motivated, and moving forward in your journey toward health. Guys, that's about it for now. Have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Again, we're open, so just give us a shout if you need it, 281-852-5600. Until I see you next time, take care, guys.